The stars had always looked peaceful from the colony world of Varel 3. No one expected that the sky, which once glittered with quiet light, would burn with invading ships. The first warning came as thunder without clouds, alien engines tearing through the upper atmosphere. In the center of the small settlement, a child named Lena stared upward, clutching a metal pendant her father gave her before leaving for the frontier war. Beside her crouched Rex, her honey badger, bred on Earth, stubborn, fearless, and somehow smarter than any creature should be. The colonists laughed once, calling him a walking temper with claws. No one was laughing now. The aliens landed fast. They weren't here to talk. Armor of blue glass, glowing rifles, voices like ice-scraping metal. They swept through the colony searching for the human signal. Soldiers shouted, people ran, and the air filled with plasma fire. Buildings melted into glass. Lena hid behind a wrecked rover, heart pounding. Rex stood in front of her, low to the ground, teeth bared. When one of the alien troopers approached, Rex didn't move back. He didn't know fear. He only knew her. The alien leaned down, helmet lights flashing red as he reached a metal hand toward the trembling girl. The moment his fingers brushed her sleeve, everything changed. Rex lunged, faster than any camera could catch. The trooper fell, armor ripped open, sparks flying. Then came silence. For the first time, the aliens hesitated. They were trained to handle weapons, not fury. Lena crawled out, face dirty but eyes cold. Around her, the colony burned, and she saw the truth. No rescue ships, no command, no hope. Only her and the creature that refused to let her die. A squad surrounded them, rifles raised. Rex growled again, deep and low. But something inside Lena snapped. She reached for the fallen alien's weapon, clumsy fingers finding the trigger. The first shot streaked blue across the dirt, missing, but it was enough. Rex charged through the smoke, and the aliens stumbled back, firing wild. They weren't facing a frightened child anymore. They were facing something the galaxy had forgotten, what humans become when cornered. By the time the dust cleared, 5 alien soldiers lay still. Their command ship signaled retreat to regroup. From orbit, a commander demanded an explanation. The soldiers said nothing. Their trembling voices could only speak one name whispered across the channel. The human child. And the beast. Lena stood on the scorched ground, the honey badger panting beside her, his fur singed and eyes still burning with light. In the distance, alien ships realigned for another attack. She didn't run this time. She wiped her face with soot-blackened fingers and whispered, "Let them come." The galaxy had started a war it didn't understand, and its first mistake was thinking a human child could be cornered. Smoke still rose from the colony ruins as Lena and Rex moved through the shattered streets. The air shimmered with leftover heat from plasma fire. Every step crackled against glass that used to be walls. The stars above flickered, cruel, watching, and cold. Rex trotted ahead, his armor scorched but his spirit untouched. His nose twitched at the air, searching for danger. Lena followed close, clutching the alien rifle too big for her small hands. She didn't cry. The tears had already burned away when the first ships landed. Orbit command of the alien fleet watched through thermal feeds. "The human child is alive," one voice hissed. "Retrieve her." Command wants to study the creature's bond, so the hunt began. Drones spread like metal locusts, humming low as they scanned the smoke. The surviving aliens on the ground moved carefully now. No arrogance left in their steps. Lena ducked under the broken wing of a crashed transport. Rex froze beside her, claws digging into the dirt. 2 alien scouts walked past, whispering in their clicking tongue. She didn't understand the words, but she understood tone. They were afraid. One of them turned toward the wreck. His scanner blinked red. Before he could speak, a shadow moved. Rex leapt from the dark, claws flashing like sparks. The alien screamed once, then silence. The second ran, stumbling, dropping his weapon. Lena crawled out, shaking. Her voice trembled as she whispered, "We have to keep moving." Rex only growled softly, brushing against her leg like a promise. They made for the cliffs north of the colony, where the rock tunnels offered cover. The deeper they went, the quieter it became, only the echo of distant engines and the heartbeat of two beings who refused to die. Far above, alien ships adjusted course. A commander stared at the feet of his fallen soldiers. Contain the child. Alive if possible. The animal, terminate. Lena felt a faint rumble in the earth. She looked up through cracks in the cave ceiling and saw the glow of incoming ships. They're coming again, she murmured. Rex's fur bristled. His eyes glowed faintly blue from reflected light. The sound of engines grew louder until the stones trembled. In that dark cave, Lena whispered, "We'll make them remember you." Rex. She didn't know that across the stars. Data analysts were already studying her image, her tiny frame beside a creature that had defied their best soldiers. Words were spreading through alien networks. Human child. Unknown defense animal. Engage with extreme caution. It was too late. The galaxy had marked her, and soon it would learn what a cornered human truly was. The tunnels of Varel 3 were carved by rivers long gone, their walls smooth and cold. Lena's small light flickered as she moved deeper, every step echoing like a secret. Behind her, Rex padded silently, his claws leaving faint scratches in the stone. Above ground, the alien army spread across the wasteland like a plague, scanning every crack, every shadow. Inside the cave, the air smelled of dust and iron. Lena stopped beside an old mining cart half buried in rubble. She climbed inside and sat down, breathing hard. Her face was pale under the dim glow. Rex pressed close, resting his heavy head against her knee. For a brief moment, they were just a child and her strange pet, alone in a quiet world. But the peace didn't last. A faint clicking echoed through the tunnels. Alien speech. Their voices carried down the stone like whispers in a nightmare. Drones floated ahead of them, beams of light slicing through the dark. Lena's hands shook as she raised the alien rifle. She could barely see. Rex growled low, the sound vibrating through the ground. The drones drew closer and their lights brushed across the girl's face. Then the first shot came, a flash of blue tearing through the dust. Rex moved like lightning. He leapt into the light, hitting the drone midair. Metal screamed. Sparks showered the walls. Lena fired blindly, each shot lighting the tunnel for a heartbeat. The aliens shouted, their armor scraping stone as they tried to surround her. The ground shook again, deeper this time. The old mine's supports began to crack. Dust fell like snow. One of the aliens shouted something urgent, and the others turned to retreat. But Rex wasn't done. He tore through the last drone and turned on the alien at the tunnel mouth. The creature aimed its weapon, but Rex was faster. The tunnel erupted in noise and fire. Then collapse. A wall of stone fell between them and the outside world. Silence returned, heavy and final. Lena coughed, waving away dust. She couldn't see the exit anymore, only darkness and the faint glow from Rex's suit plates. "We're trapped," she whispered. Rex sniffed the air and started forward. Somewhere ahead, faint light flickered through cracks in the stone. Lena followed, her small hand gripping the rifle tighter. They found an opening into an ancient cavern. Strange crystals grew from the floor, glowing faint blue. Lena's eyes widened. It was beautiful and wrong. The air vibrated, humming softly. She stepped closer, touching one of the crystals. It pulsed under her fingers. At that touch, the light spread, crawling across the floor like veins waking up. Rex barked sharply, backing away. The hum grew into a deep, living sound. The crystals were not stone. They were old technology, maybe older than the aliens themselves. And Lena had just woken it. Above the surface, alien scanners blinked red as new energy surged below ground. Their command screens filled with static and unreadable signals. "What is that power signature?" the commander demanded. No one answered. In the cavern, Lena stood bathed in blue light. Her pendant glowed for the first time. Rex stood beside her, eyes reflecting the same color. Together they faced the darkness ahead, unaware that the galaxy had just felt a tremor. Not from war, but from something ancient that had chosen to wake for them. The galaxy's first mistake was hunting a human child. Its second was disturbing what protected her. The blue light from the crystals filled the cavern like living breath. It shimmered across the walls, tracing symbols older than any human language. Lena stood still, her reflection glowing faintly on the surface of the crystal beside her. Rex circled the edge, uneasy, his claws scraping sparks. The hum grew deeper, pulsing like a heartbeat. Then, the pendant around Lena's neck began to glow. It vibrated once, then again, before releasing a faint pulse of light that spread across the cavern. Every crystal responded, flaring bright white for a heartbeat. Above, alien ships froze mid-maneuver as their scanners filled with unreadable energy. Their command feeds cut to static. "Unknown energy source detected beneath the surface," one operator shouted. "Signal interference across all frequencies." In the darkness, Lena stepped forward. A soft voice whispered through the air, not from a speaker, but from everywhere at once. "Human genetic code." Recognized. "Guardian protocol reactivated." She turned, eyes wide. "Who said that?" The light gathered before her, forming faint outlines. A hologram, half broken but alive. It flickered into the shape of a tall, armored figure, not alien and not entirely human. Its voice carried age, grief, and warning. "This world was built by those who remembered the last extinction. You have awakened the vault of the protectors." Lena didn't understand, but her instincts said one thing. This power wasn't made for the aliens above. It was meant for something else. Rex growled low. From the far side of the cavern, rocks fell as an alien squad broke through, shouting commands. Their light scattered across the blue crystal floor. "Target located!" one barked. The hologram turned toward them. Its voice dropped. "Threat detected." Then everything moved at once. The ground erupted with blinding energy. A surge of blue light shot through the cavern, wrapping around the crystals like lightning. The aliens screamed as their weapons fried in their hands. Rex shielded Lena, teeth bared as arcs of light danced around him without harm. The hologram reached a hand toward Lena. "Guardian link confirmed. Control interface unlocked." Her pendant pulsed again, syncing with the glow around her. She felt something, not fear, not pain, but a kind of connection. Like the world itself was listening to her heartbeat. On the surface, alien commanders shouted as their systems failed. "Power surge in the mine, planetary interference spreading. We're losing control of orbit." Ships began to drift, their engines sputtering. Below, Lena raised her head as her voice came out steady and quiet. "Stop them," she said. The crystals obeyed. Light roared through the tunnels, chasing the fleeing aliens like a living storm. When it ended, the cavern fell silent again, leaving only the faint hum of sleeping power. Rex sat beside her, chest rising and falling slowly. Lena stared at the faintly glowing crystal, whispering, "What are you?" The voice answered softly, "We are what remains of those who learned too late. That humans are never prey." She didn't know it yet, but the signal had already escaped into space. Across the alien network, data fragments began to appear, images of a child and her beast, standing in a storm of blue fire. A warning spreading faster than any fleet. The galaxy's mistake had become its nightmare. Orbit above Varel 3 was chaos. Alien dreadnoughts hung broken, their command signals scrambled by the energy pulse rising from the planet's crust. What had once been a simple extraction mission was now a full-scale panic. Every ship captain received the same garbled report. Human child, anomaly, planet awake. Lena didn't know any of that. She only knew that the light in the crystals had faded to a soft blue, and Rex was watching the dark tunnel ahead. The holographic figure flickered back to life. "They are coming again. The protectors will hold only so long as you stand." Lena swallowed hard. "Then we stand." Rex gave a sharp bark as if agreeing. Minutes later, the first tremor shook the cavern. Alien dropships landed on the surface, pounding the ground with sonic blasts to clear dust. Troops in reinforced armor descended through new tunnels, their helmets glowing red in the gloom. They came with shields, flamers, and machines built for extermination. Deep below, Lena could hear them. The rhythm of marching boots echoed through the stone like thunder. She raised her rifle again, though her hands trembled. Rex moved to the front, claws scraping sparks. When the soldiers breached the lower cavern, they saw her, small, dirty, and standing in the light. A human child. For a moment they hesitated. Then they fired. The air erupted. Blue light from the crystals met the red of plasma fire, twisting together into a storm. Rex charged through the blaze, impossible to stop. His armor glowed from the heat, eyes blazing white. Every time he struck, another alien fell. Lena ran behind him, firing bursts of light from the alien weapon. One blast hit the cavern wall and the crystal veins exploded outward, sending shards of energy racing through the air. The aliens screamed as their suits shorted out, collapsing one by one, but more came. The commander himself descended, encased in thick silver armor, energy sword humming. He stepped over fallen soldiers and locked his gaze on Lena. "Surrender the artifact." "You do not understand its danger," Lena stared back. "You don't understand me," the commander charged. Rex intercepted, claws slashing against the glowing blade. Sparks lit the chamber. Lena's pendant flared so bright it blinded them all. The holographic figure appeared again, now solid, standing between them. "You call it danger. We call it memory." The hologram raised its arm and the ground split open. From the fracture rose metallic constructs, ancient sentinels long buried. Their eyes glowed the same blue as Lena's pendant. They moved with mechanical grace, shielding the girl and the badger. Above ground, alien sensors went dark. Fleets lost contact. What they saw last before the blackout was a column of light erupting from the planet's crust, carrying an unmistakable shape within, a small human child, a glowing creature beside her, and a message encoded in every pulse. "Do not corner humanity again." Lena stood in the ruins of the cavern, breathing hard. The sentinels knelt silently around her, awaiting command. Rex limped back to her side, blood-red dust clinging to his fur. She placed a hand on his head. "We're not done yet," she whispered. Far above, the alien commander's fleet began to retreat. The first war had failed, but the galaxy would not forget this day. The story of the child and her honey badger was already spreading across the stars, whispered by soldiers, decoded by analysts, feared by empires. And somewhere in the silence between worlds, something older than either human or alien stirred and listened. The battle for Varel 3 had ended in silence. The alien fleet, once so proud, now drifted beyond the planet's orbit, its broken ships glowing like wounded fireflies. Below, the scorched world rested under strange light, half dawn, half memory. Lena stood at the edge of the shattered cavern, her small figure dwarfed by the metallic guardians that surrounded her. Rex sat beside her, his fur streaked with ash and silver dust, his chest rising slow but steady. He looked like he'd fought gods, and decided he'd do it again if they ever tried anything. The holographic figure reappeared, its once flickering form now clear and calm. "The protectors were built to defend the rarest force in the universe," it said softly. "Compassion born in chaos. You have reawakened us." Lena blinked, trying to understand. "You mean me?" "You. And what stands beside you?" The hologram looked at Rex. "The bond between you carries the pattern of what once made humanity impossible to conquer." Outside, alien distress calls echoed across frequencies. Commanders argued about retreat, retaliation, or surrender. Entire fleets had lost their confidence. The words "human child" became a code whispered by soldiers to explain the unexplainable. Courage that defied logic. Lena didn't care about the politics of it. She only cared about survival. "Can you help us leave this planet?" she asked. The hologram hesitated. "The world itself now listens to you. It can carry you or it can carry your message." Rex tilted his head, ears twitching. The crystals under their feet began to pulse again, forming light paths that rose through the rock toward the surface. When they stepped outside, the world looked reborn. The air shimmered with dust and floating sparks. The alien ships above turned their sensors toward her, but none dared to fire. One ship tried, and its weapon melted before discharge. The planetary energy defended its own. Lena lifted her pendant. It glowed brighter than the sun, projecting one final message into the heavens. To every empire watching, never corner a human, never touch what they love. We remember, we fight, we endure. The message spread like wildfire across the stars. Every race that once believed humans were fragile rewrote their manuals overnight. Treaties were re-examined. Outposts near human colonies went dark. Some called it fear. Others called it respect. In time, the planet quieted. The protectors sank back into the soil, their duty fulfilled. Lena found herself standing beside Rex on a ridge watching the sunrise. Her clothes were torn, her face smudged, but her eyes burned bright. "Think they'll come again?" she asked softly. Rex gave a low growl, almost like a laugh. She smiled and scratched behind his ear. "Let them try." Far beyond, 1,000 light-years away, an alien historian would later write, "It began as an operation to capture one child. It ended as a story that changed how the galaxy viewed humanity. No one knew what became of the girl and her honey badger. Some said they vanished into the stars. Others swore they saw them once, on a border world, watching the sky together, waiting for whatever came next. But every civilization that survived carried the same warning in its records: never corner a human child, and never ever touch their honey badger."